Okay, welcome back. So we're going to pick up again on this next part of this tutorial, part 2 on how to make a parametric vase or container. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is where we left off. Now what we need to do is we need to divide these curves up. So we're going to go to curve, division, and then divide curve. And we're going to essentially bring in 3 of those. So in the meantime, I'm going to just go ahead and make another number slider and connect that to that before I copy 3 of those in, and then we're going to put those right after each of those shapes there. Okay, so we're going to connect the circle to this geometry, and as you can see over here, it divided that up into 10 points. I'm going to connect that to there, and that divided the rectangle into 10 points. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this geometry, and that divided that circle into 10 points. So from here, hopefully you guys are following along and I haven't lost you yet. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a 3-point curve. So I'm going to go to curve, primitive, arc, 3 points. So a 3-point arc or 3-point curve. I'm going to connect from essentially from the top down. So this is going to be A, this is going to be B, and this is going to be C. So now you're looking at this over here, and it's created that. Now it's going all over the place. It's essentially kind of not doing what we had thought it would do, probably, as far as connecting these 3. The way it's connecting it is that it's going 1, 2, and then going up and around instead of 1, 2, and then like that. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to actually shift the values in order to get it to work correctly. So we're going to actually go to sets, list, and we're going to go to shift list, and we're going to place that there, and let's just say a value of 10 for the list that's being shifted. And then we're going to actually connect the middle one, which is the square. We're going to connect that one to this list here, and then we're going to connect that list to B. Okay, so if you look here, it cleans it up a little bit, because what it's doing is the points that it's actually trying to connect along a line, along this line, the points are being shifted around the rectangle, which straightens it out essentially. So we need this in order to clean it up a little bit. Let me separate them, give it a little bit more height, and let's see, let's make this coordinate, let's say 20, a maximum of 20. That way I can get a little bit more separation between these shapes here. I'll bring that one up bring that one up to 10. Okay, so that makes it a little bit easier to see. So basically, going back to this shift list component, previously it wasn't shifted at all, and it was trying to go from, let's say, this point to this point, and then all the way over and connecting to this point. Well, we don't want that to happen. So what I did was I shifted the points over on the rectangle to allow those lines to connect up a little bit better. So as you can see, they're actually connecting up slightly better than they were before. Not as twisted and convoluted. So now you can see that this point here is connecting to this point, which is in turn connecting to that point over there. Okay. And then just to kind of visualize it as a as a surface, you can go to Surface and then click on Loft, and you can then connect those lines together as a lofted surface. Now you can see here that it's open. That's because we need to go into this loft and we need to toggle the loft options to being closed. So you right click on the loft, right click on the zero and the O on the loft options, and then close loft, commit changes, and then now you can see here on the left that that closed up that lofted surface. So here you have just the basic shape of a container, a parametric container that is. And if I actually wanted to get these things to straighten out a little bit more, because as you can see it's not perfectly straight, I could go and apply a shift list to, let's see, let me take a look at this. I could apply a shift list to the bottom, to the circle here. So I'm going to go to Math or Sets. I always want to go to that one, to Math. Shift list. And then I'm going to do -5. Oh, that's not good. I'll just do a slider and then just do 10, and then I'll go in here and I'll say my minimum is -5, my maximum is 5, and I'll connect that to there, and then I'll connect this to C here like that. So now I should be able to shift that around so that that's straight. See that? So now I've got nice straight curves going from the circle that we drew to the square all the way up to this other circle. Okay. If I wanted to put a bottom, right now you can see this container doesn't have a bottom. That's fairly easy to do. I can go to Surface and I go to Boundary Surfaces, and I can essentially connect this curve to there, and now I effectively have a bottom to my container. Now here's the parametric properties of this. I can not only move the container back and forth in several directions. I can move it up and down. I can change the radius of my container like so. I can change the position and the size of this square in almost every direction. I can raise that square up and down to give me different forms. Now obviously if I change this coordinate here to, let's say, 20, then it can go all the way up to the other construction plane as well, like that, and it changes the geometry. And if I want to get really crazy, I can probably invert this container by bringing the top point through. Whoa, now check that out. Now we're getting to some real emergence, some incredible geometries that you probably wouldn't have ever come up with if you hadn't created this sort of algorithm. So if I bring that all the way down, it almost looks like it inverts itself into this kind of bubble. And then if I continue to bring it down, it'll just flip up underneath itself and almost act kind of like a Klein bottle. But anyway, from here you can just kind of play around with the parameters and create different objects. Hopefully this was helpful in learning some more components of Grasshopper, and hopefully this will also help you in your projects for the rest of the quarter. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be glad to answer them. And oh, before I do go, just to kind of add a little wow value, go ahead and go to Surface, Pipe, drop in a pipe. And let's see if this will work. Let's add some pipes to this. There you go. Let's reduce the radius to let's say 1, and then let's increase. There we go. So basically I'm going to connect that to that, and then I can reduce the radius of these pipes, and I'm essentially going to toggle this, and I'm going to do rounded so it's nice and round there. And now you can probably see even better what happens when you actually shift this and twist this around. It creates this sort of twisted pipe look on the outside, and that kind of shows you what's going on with these values that are being shifted around. Same with this one. If I shift the bottom twists, and then the top twists and stuff like that. But yeah, go ahead and play around with that. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Anyway, thank you. See you guys in class. Take care.